levonecha, urevonim levonecha shoma Yisroel. Urevonim levonecha, urevonim levonecha shoma Yisroel. Urevonim levonecha, shoylam shoylam al Yisroel. Urevonim Onim levonecha, shoylam shoylam al Yisroel. V'tahali baynu le'avdecha b'yamas. V'tahali baynu le'avdecha b'yamas. Oy v'tahali baynu le'avdecha b'yamas. V'tahali baynu le'avdecha b'yamas. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, אנחנו אוהבים אותך. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, אנחנו אוהבים אותך. ay ay dai 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 dom, di da da dai di dai dom. Kitzer Shulchan Oruch chapter 5. We continue here in the roadside between Tzfat and Moran, a holy place which Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and the holiest of people inhabited and spoke Torah in, and we continue in that tradition. It says in Devarim 23:14-15, cover your excrement because Hashem, your Hashem, accompanies you in the midst of your camp. Your camp must be holy, lest you see anything lascivious among you. Based on this, our sages in Brachos 25a states that wherever Hashem accompanies us, wherever we are involved in holy matters, reciting the Shema, prayers, or the Torah and the like, our camp must be holy. This implies that there should not be anything which is not clean, openly revealed, nor should there be any sexually arousing things before the person who is reading or praying. Number 2, it is even forbidden to think about holy things while in the presence of the excrement and urine or any foul smelling odor. It says you shall cover this. While walking here and setting up the camera, I saw some waste of some type of animal. Hopefully it won't attack us. And so I knew I couldn't teach the Torah over in that spot. So that is Min HaShamayim. So I stopped myself from singing the song as I was walking, and I came to this place. As you see, it's very beautiful. So we should be careful not to be thinking Torah in these places. This is one reason why I'm afraid sometimes to teach about the importance of having Shavisi Hashem and Lepi Samid, the Yud K Vav K, the holy name before a person, which you're supposed to do at all times, and all the tzaddikim are machbid on this, but I'm afraid to teach it, that people be lax in this, in being careful not to have these thoughts, holy thoughts, in bad places, which means when you're walking along the road and you pass a garbage can, or if you're driving along the road and there's a foul smell, you have to close the window, put on the air conditioning to the other setting where the air is flowing inside the car, but we don't think to do that. People continue listening to their music, which is filled with pasukim, we forget. Now, pouring a revius of water into any urine nullifies it, and we are released from this problem. Since we're not holding exactly there, I don't remember exactly what a revius is. 1 second. But in this case, I just pour a full cup over until I look up what an exact revius is, because I don't remember the exact amount of content, how many ounces. And there's no difference whether the urine was contained in the receptacle or one poured water over it, or the water was contained within this receptacle and one had gone on top of it. This doesn't apply if the receptacle in which the urine is found is intended specifically for that purpose. If one has urinated twice, 2 reviuses are required, and this continues for the same amount for further amounts. Even if the urine is absorbed in the ground or a garment, it's necessary to pour water there as long as some moisture is present. Now it says in the Misgeres Shulchan number 2 that Shabbos is forbidden to pour water on a garment in order to wash off this impurity. Number 3, a person who has excrement on his flesh, even though it is covered by his garments, is forbidden to recite holy words, as it says in Psalms 35:10. All my limbs will declare Hashem, who is like you. Therefore it is proper that they all be clean. Though there are authorities who are lenient in this matter, it is proper to be stringent. The Magen Avram deals with this question, the question of hemorrhoids. According to most texts, he reaches a very stringent conclusion stating, such a person has no alternative. However, there is a printing error, and the text should read, such a person needs no special measures. Number 4, one should take care to check before reciting holy words if there is a reason to suspect that there are any of this in the place they're at. One should not pray in a house where there is filth in the upper story. Number 5, when a child reaches the age when children would normally eat an olive measure, gazayas of grain, in the time it would take take an adult to eat 3 eggs, Kedei Achilas Paras, the Yavet fixes this age at 1 year, with a child 1 year of age. One should separate oneself from his excrement and urine. This applies even to cooking grain. Is it good and proper to separate oneself from excrement of even a child of 8 days? So, when a baby turns to 1 year old, you have to be very careful to move the dirty diaper out of the room and to clean him. Before that, you don't have to, but it's good to after 8 days. Number 6, when praying, one must keep a distance from human feces, even if they do not have a foul odor, and similarly from the feces of cats, jackals, and English hens. However, in general, the excrement of other animals, beasts, and birds does not produce a foul odor, and one does not require to keep a distance from it. However, one must separate from such excrement if it does produce a foul odor, and similarly, and from a foul-smelling carcass, any substance that smells foul due to mold or chicken coop. Similarly, one must separate from foul-smelling water. The water in which flax and canvas is soaked generally smells foul, hence one must separate from it as from excrement. I don't know if we'll bring it up here, but if a person who usually works, say, with fish, so he wouldn't have to separate himself in order to have holy words because he's used to this smell. Like if a person has their hands, they have paint on their hands, and they're not used to this, then it may be a problem to say a bracha. They should clean their hands first. Should that be their common work, and therefore the odor is not considered foul to them. This is what I remember learning elsewhere. Number 7, excrement that is so dry that it crumbles when turned over is considered as dust, provided it doesn't have a foul odor. However, excrement that is frozen is still governed by all the above laws, for it will return to its previous state when it is warm. Nevertheless, excrement that is covered with snow is considered to be covered. Number 8, how great a distance one must separate from feces. I'm sorry I don't have other words to use that are a little softer. I didn't bring a thesaurus because our teacher said you should always use the most holiest words. You should change a word just to not say a word which may be negative or a little bit uncomfortable. You should change the wording. And I don't really have such a thesaurus mind in these avenues for better words. I should have taken an anatomy class in school. Now, if the feces are behind him, he must place a distance of 4 cubits between himself and the point at which the odor of the feces is no longer discernible. This applies even if he personally does not smell the odor, he must keep the same distance as if he did. But the feces does not produce an odor, it is sufficient to separate oneself by a distance of 4 cubits. If the feces are in front of him, he must move away to the point that they are no longer visible at night. One must move away to the extent that they would be impossible to see by day. This also applies if the feces are located to one side. However, one may turn so that they be located towards one's back. Number 9, when feces are found in a room where communal prayers are recited, even if they are found behind the chazan and there are 4 cubits between him and the point where the odor is no longer discernible, he must remain silent and wait until they are removed or covered. It is possible that at least one member of the community will not be within the 4 cubits of the point at which the odor of the feces is discernible. He would be forbidden from hearing and paying attention to the prayers the chazan recited. I'm a little bit uncomfortable to mention this, but I must. If you see you have stomach trouble, do not stand around the crowd in the synagogue. Try to go to the back of the synagogue or take care of yourself. So therefore you do not interrupt people's prayers. You must know that they are not allowed to pray, nor are you, should a smell arise. I just reminded myself of this Rav I know. Okay. Number 10, should a person conclude his prayers and afterwards discover feces in the place where he prayed, if the place was one in which there would be a suspicion that it might be this there, then and he was negligent and did not look for it, he must repeat the Shemona Esrei. The Shemona Esrei was instituted in the place of sacrifice. His negligence caused his prayers to be considered as the offering of a wicked, which is an abomination. Proverbs. The same applies to Kirash Shema, since its recitation is an obligation from the Torah itself and does not involve reciting any blessings in vain. However, one should not recite the blessings before and after the Shema. The same applies to other blessings recited there. Even if one recited the grace after meals in such a place, he should not repeat the blessing. If it was unlikely that feces be found in the place where the person prayed, he was not negligent, and after the fact he is considered to have fulfilled his obligation even regarding prayer. If urine was found in the place, even though the place is such that one should have suspected that it be found, after the fact one is considered to have fulfilled his obligation. However, it says on the bottom that if a person knew this, and he really were negligent, that they should repeat their prayer. Number 11, if a person expelled gas from below, he's forbidden to recite any holy words until the odor ceases. He must also wait for continuing his prayers if his colleague also had done this. However, a person who is studying Torah need not pause because of this by his colleague. And you can remember what I said prior on this. Number 12, one must keep a distance from the lavatory, even if it's surrounded by walls. This applies even if there is no extra room within it. Toilet seat, even if the receptacle is removed and the hole is covered, is considered as a lavatory and must be removed from the house or covered. The instance may be taken regarding a seat that is also designated as a chair and covered with a cushion. And only when necessary is the cushion removed and the seat used as a toilet and then covered again. Realistically, a person should close the bathroom door after use it. Every time we walk down the hall, a person should be thinking about Torah, and therefore the bathroom door should always be closed. And on my own, I'd like to say a little bit further that the seat should be better. It should be put down and closed. Number 13, a receptacle for feces or urine is considered a lavatory if it is made of earthenware or wood. This applies even if it is clean and does not produce an odor. There is no difference if it is filled with water, turned upside down, or placed beneath a bed. Rather, it must be removed from the house or covered. There is no need to separate from it if it is made of metal or glass, has been washed thoroughly, and does not produce an odor. Some pigs often forage amidst excrement, the mouth of a pig is considered as a toilet. This applies even to a pig which has just climbed out of a stream. Washing does not change its status. Interesting. I guess we are pretty against the pig here in Judaism. Number 14. It is also forbidden to think or speak about holy matters in a bathhouse. Furthermore, any of the names of Hashem, even those in a foreign language like Got in Yiddish or Boga in Polish or Russian, may not be mentioned in a bathhouse or place of filth. Similarly, one may not greet a colleague with the expression Shalom, because Shalom is one of the names of Hashem. It says in Shofetz, and he called it Hashem Shalom. Some also forbid calling a person named Shalom by his name there. Others permit it, since the intent in mentioning the word Shalom is not to utter Hashem's name. It is common practice to accept the lenient view. However, a Yireh Shamayim person should be stringent. I really would have to research this further, because I do remember learning this, but I just wonder, since it says a Yireh Shamayim, a God-fearing person should be careful with this, if we should truly be machbid on this. But for those who follow the Shulchan Aruch, I imagine that you should always take the more stringent view, as long as it's not going to cause you to become depressed or any hardship. So it's interesting here, a few years ago I complained to the pizza store because they had on the pizza box, I forgot the exact words, but it said the name of Hashem G, then O and D, and protects our nation or something. Now I had complained to the pizza store and asked them to remove these boxes, and because people throw them out, and that's Hashem's name, even in English. And a week or two later I returned to the pizza store and it was not removed. So he did not seem to get it, and I don't know why. We have to be careful not to use Hashem's name in vain. We should not say, like even in the Shirim, I always say the word Hashem instead of the other English term in order to give kavod to Hashem, to fear Hashem. And so we should be careful not to throw this out in any language. And it's unbelievable that people today who study the Kabbalah without proper knowledge, especially centers that might be in the Los Angeles area, people print these names of Hashem out and they are thrown into the garbage. These people are not taught to properly cherish these things. Most people are not even modest who go to the centers, and it's a very, very big shame. I heard from the rabbi online, what is his name? Very famous rabbi, he teaches halacha far better than me. I stand down to him, the Sephardi rabbi. So he had said something that people take for granted. They print their invitations in the Asher script, the holy script used by the Torah, and this is, according to many authorities, is not proper to print and take for granted the Asher script, the holy script that the Torah is written in. Number 15, it is forbidden to speak words of Torah and holy matters in the presence of someone undressed. This applies regarding one's own nakedness or that of another person, even a small boy or girl. Only to allow the mitzvah of bris milah, circumcision, was permission granted to recite a blessing in the presence of a child's nakedness. The above applies even if one closes his eyes in order not to see this. This is insufficient since it is before him. Rather, one must turn one's face or body away from it. If a person is amongst people that are not dressed properly, in general, a man in front of there's a woman that's not dressed modestly in front of a man, or vice versa, to turn their head or their body while reciting the blessing. Number 16, should a hand breadth or any portion of a woman's body that is usually covered be revealed, or similarly, even if a small portion of the hair of a married woman, which is generally to be kept covered, and it's revealed, this is considered also as nakedness for a man. There is no difference in this regard between one's wife or another woman. Nevertheless, for a woman, the above is not considered nakedness. Now, the extent of this, which I'm not going to elaborate in too much detail, is that the hair of a married woman that is uncovered is considered the same nakedness of other parts of the body. That's how strong it is that it should be covered, especially when a man is reciting a blessing. And as said in other shirim about this topic, that a woman is considered very, very holy, and it is not, the Torah does not degrade women. In fact, it elevates them. And that's why her hair is covered, because she's considered extremely holy. The voice of a woman singing is also considered nakedness. Nevertheless, in a difficult situation, when a man hears women singing, he cannot prevent them from doing so. He should refrain from reciting the Shema, praying, or studying Torah for this reason. Rather, he should make an effort to concentrate his attention in the sphere of holiness in which he's involved, and pay no attention to the singing. So we're told here about this halacha that we're very lax on today. So people have to make a choice whether they want to listen to this Britney Spears, or to have the Garden of Eden and to have more holiness all the time. We don't realize, I mean, the halacha is telling us that we should realize that a man is attracted to a woman, okay? Now, some people might immediately, they shun the Orthodox or the Torah when they hear about the singing. They think, I don't believe in that, it's too much, it's going too far. So let me just try to explain you some basic math here, okay? Hashem created man and Hashem created woman. Okay? A man is attracted to a woman. If he is attracted to a woman, he is not able to think about Hashem properly, and it causes him to want to sin. So therefore, the voice of a woman, maybe you don't realize it or not, but it is a little bit attractive. Okay? So therefore, in order to prevent the person from sin, they should not listen to women. That would also include tape music. Now, is this degrading for women? No. A woman is considered extremely holy, and her voice is precious to Hashem and very, very beautiful, which is why a man might also be attracted to the woman's voice. Therefore, we cherish it, and a woman should sing amongst other women or in front of her husband when she is clean. And therefore, they together and she together can go up, and a man should not go down by slipping in his ways of being attractive. I hope I don't have to repeat this again, but it does make sense. It's halacha, because as we know from the basic rules of life, men and women might have some form of attraction to each other through means which attract. Okay, let us move on. Number 17, if a person's heart sees his own nakedness, even though his nakedness is covered, for example, he is wearing a robe, but there is no division between his heart and his organ, his lower organ, he is forbidden from reciting any holy words. Rather, he should wear pants that cling to his body, or a belt, or fold his hands over his body to separate between his heart and his lower parts. A woman need not take care regarding this. This concludes chapter 5. Thank you. Vahani, Vahani, Sefilosi, L'chol Hashem, HaYisrael. Oy Vahani, Vahani, Sefilosi, L'chol Hashem,